and I gave it a generous 2.
Yeah, me too. It was one of those where I was looking at, I'm like, man, should I give it a 3? No, I'll stick with 2.
Sorry, Mongo.
It was one of those where I was watching the match. I go, I hear, next up we'll have Goldberg versus Mongo McMichael. I go, oh no. Who thought this was a brilliant idea?
You better talk Bischoff in that one.
Actually, I don't know if it was Bischoff. I bet you it was Kevin Sullivan.
Well, I mean, at least he signed off on it.
Oh yeah, I guess, but
probably more or less Sullivan took it the direction of Goldberg more or less than anybody else did. But like I said, Bischoff still signed off on it.
Yeah.
Either way, yeah, I know what you mean. It was just one of those not the greatest ideas, but it is what it is. There's flaws and things.
So, the next match ended up being Perry Saturn with Raven against Chris Benoit.
Raven's rules match.
Which is, if I remember right, that's basically an Extreme Rules match, right?
Pretty much. Yes, sir. Anything goes. Raven's rules. There are no rules. That's right. So it was decent.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing over the top. Not, it was more of a feud, more of the animosity between Raven and Benoit. But still, it was there enough. I gave it a 5.3. I thought it was still impactful, decent match. Like I said, the more the storytelling was between Benoit and Raven, so
yeah,
it was okay. I mean, it was had some good spots in it. Wasn't a big fan of the finish.
No, I wasn't either.
Yeah, but it was there. So 5.3. What did you give it?
I gave it a 5.
5. Okay, so we're in about the same ballpark.
Yeah, I like the Rings of Saturn. It was weird seeing Saturn not be bald, but I like the Rings of Saturn. And you could definitely tell this was actually, it wasn't supposed to be a finalization to the feud between Raven and Chris Benoit. It was really just to keep it going. So, yeah, give him credit where credit's due.
A little bit weird with seeing Saturn without a mop too.
Well, I saw him with years without a mop. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just being funny. That's
yeah. All. But immediately after that, we had the big meaty guys, Buff Bagwell versus Lex Luger.
I did. Say it again. Back up.
We had the big meaty guys, the muscle bound.
You know what I'm saying? Say that part, the whole part again.
Hold on. Hey, look at Discord. The direct message I sent you.
I guess you know Florida's out of it now.
So the next match was two big meaty guys, muscle bound guys, between Buff Bagwell and Lex Luger.
Oh, yeah. Beef. And
Yeah.
Buff.
Was Luger? I can't remember if they called him the total package at this point. Was he going by that at that point?
Oh yeah. He was called total package for years.
Which I don't understand how.
Well, I mean, he's a big, muscular, total package guy.
Yeah, but the total package would suggest that he has charismatic. That was the word I was trying to think of earlier. Was charismatic. You would say that he's charismatic, but he's not.
He showed the parts where I've seen more was charismatic, charisma was parts of the matches where he started getting hyped up. That's where I've seen more of it at. Other than that, there wasn't a whole lot as far as the charismatic part,
Right.
at least in my opinion. But it was I give it a 5. It was just an average deal. I just wasn't overly into it. It was just more sluggish for a while there, honestly.
Right.
Buff really took control of the match for a lot of it. I just wasn't really impressed as far as overall.
It was I, and I actually went 4.5 because of it.
I understand that.
I was a Bagwell fan when I was a kid, and it's kind of weird watching him now. It's kind of weird watching him now because it's like...
Yeah. Definitely was a Bagwell fan myself.
Well, it was just one of those things where, like, I wasn't even really a big fan of him. Yeah, the Blockbuster's cool, but is not that is great, but you know, otherwise I'm like, I didn't understand what I thought was so cool about him.
Yeah, I mean, he just had that persona that just was cool, I guess. I mean, you know, obviously his I'm buff and I am the stuff, and of course his flex. That's really what sold him, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Other than that, there wasn't a whole lot more. I mean, finisher was cool, but you know, he had his body his body backed up his catchphrase, you know, or you know what he represented. So that was enough there. But yeah, he would. I mean, even his early days was cool too. He was just trying to find his stride, and I actually liked him teaming up with Scotty Riggs years ago.
Oh, and American Males.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool team. I thought they had good chemistry. It just worked. I thought it did.
Right.
But you know, NWO, I think it still would have worked. And as we talked about a number of times before, obviously a lot of people know this. There's too many members in NWO, but I think that take away a lot of those members, I think Buff still would have fit inside the NWO just fine. It would have kept him in there. He would have been a good fit for it. Just if it was just they took away a lot of the members, but you know, Buff,
I got you.
Was a good fit. Anyway, that's about it.
Yeah, no, he was a good fit for what the NWO was. He had the cockiness that made sense.
Absolutely.
But it was one of those where it's like, I remember him being better than this.
Yeah.
The next one, though, so we had Curt Hennig versus DDP for the United States Championship, and on paper,
Hennig was champion.
Yeah, and this match, specifically on paper, looked like it was going to be good.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. And I guess so the backstory to this was that Ric Flair was actually supposed to be in this match, but he got injured, so DDP took his place. There's a couple of things where they had a little bit of back and forth, and Hennig was just kind of doing what Hennig does, being part of the NWO. But in any case, basically what ended up happening is DDP won. Diamond Cutter took the title off of Hennig.
I remember this match very well. I was obviously, like anybody else, I was very enthused. This could look good on paper, look good in the ring. DDP, feel the bang. So I was good storytelling, good match. I get a 6.3. I was going to get a 6.5. That was a pretty good match for two talented guys. They had changed the position of this match with the Flair was supposed to be involved. But I thought it was good for what it was. I mean, definitely was always impressed to see Diamond Dallas Page in anything he did. And Kurt Hennig was a very talented guy. And yeah, really good match. So, glad to see DDP took the title back then. It was really cool to see that happen.
Yep. Yeah, and DDP, he had a weird story, being a little bit of the older guy, wrestling and making as big of an impact as he did.
At age 35.
I was a big fan of DDP growing up, and even now, I use his yoga.
I haven't used his yoga yet, but I plan on doing it real soon. I've heard a lot of good things. A lot of wrestlers, a lot of people in general have talked about DDP yoga for a long time, and definitely plan on using it. Hopefully, starting off in 2021.
Yeah,
and definitely looking forward to doing some yoga, man.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people over time been doing yoga. A number of my fans in my music career talked about using yoga. Some of them talked about the DDP yoga too. So it's done wonders for a lot of people.
Yep. All right. So the next match was Larry Zbyszko against Eric Bischoff. This is WCW fighting to keep Nitro available away from NWO. I didn't realize...
this is a crazy match. I was hyped up to the point. Oh my god! I was a very nerve-wracking match for me. I was a kid, man. I was like, I was concerned Larry Zbyszko was going to win this match and keep a hold of and get Raw. I'll get Raw. Woo! Get Nitro. Very nerve-wracking.
And it's very good that Zbyszko was able to hold off and prevent from Retribution from taking over Nitro.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's I'm watching this. I'm like, this is the same goddamn story.
Yeah.
But I give him a lot of credit. Eric Bischoff did not look strong at all.
No. He was a real life. Was black belt? What was his?
Yeah, he was a real life black belt. He really did karate.
Yeah, black belt. Yeah.
They thought it would be kind of funny. They thought it'd be funny to accentuate it in that match, and that you would have all the protective gear on.
Yeah,
which, they're not wrong.
No.
Funny.
No, it was interesting to have that on, and boy, he gets butt whooped.
Yeah. Did you see when they tried to load up his foot pad?
Yeah, Scott Hall did that, and he did connect with that kick with that metal piece in his.
No, then the metal went flying out before they made contact.
I'm talking about the intention. That's what.
Oh yeah. I saw that. I'm like, ooh, I think that was a botch.
Yeah. It was a botch. I'm talking about the intention though. Yeah, but yeah, it was a botch. I did see the botch though. Yeah, it didn't make for the best moment, obviously, but the intention was good, and at least Zbyszko sold it really good. So
yeah. So one thing we touch on for this being infamous is this is Bret Hart's first appearance on pay-per-view with WCW.
Yes, it is. This was only about a month and a half, I'd say, at least a month after he left WWF.
Yep.
After the Screwjob. So.
Yep. And he was a special guest referee. He locked Scott Hall in the sharpshooter, and Eric Bischoff lost to Larry Zbyszko.
The same Nitro. I remember jumping up and down at this moment when I was a kid. Nitro's alive. It stays alive. My friends are like, he wasn't going to die. I said, no, Nitro. I remember that moment very well. Yeah, I was a kid jumping up and down at the finish of this match, man. It was a huge moment for that pay-per-view. I don't know why they didn't promote it a little bit more during the pay-per-view itself. They didn't talk about it. They talked about Sting versus Hogan, which is obviously needed, but they didn't hype it up as much because Nitro was on the line, which is huge. But it was still, they did it was a great moment. I just wish they would have hyped up a little more. But I gave it a 6.5.
Yeah, I gave it a 6. I did a little bit less because I get it. There's a lot of storytelling in there, but there's some things where it's like, that was a little too much.
Yeah, absolutely. I liked it. I seen Bret Hart acting kind of like a little bit of a heel there first several minutes in the match. I'm like, and even back then I was like, uh-oh. and finally